What's up, everybody? We are back with another edition of Top 5 here on the MacGuffin Podcast. I'm Allen.
I'm Brandi.
And today, on our version of the Top 5, we are going to be talking about our top 5 films featuring food.
Yes.
We like films. We like food. Why not combine them, right? So, let's get started. My number 5 film is from 2007.
Okay.
It was released by Pixar, and it is Ratatouille.
Excellent film.
I love this film. It's really interesting how they came up with this premise about a rat, having this dream of becoming a chef. When you think of rats, that's probably like the last thing you think about when it comes to food. But they put it together so well. You have Remy the rat, whose dreams
cute.
of becoming a chef. What else? I don't even know where to start with this movie because there's so many things about it that I love.
You can say the same things you can say about every Pixar film, which is that it's just like great characters, very endearing, amazing animation.
Yep. Beautiful.
And in this one, they have all the escapes of Paris, but then they also have these little sequences where they do sort of a little bit more experimental animation in the characters' imaginations or whatever. I mean, it's really beautiful to look at.
I don't really know what else to add in there. I mean, you pretty much covered it. Yeah, I mean, Ratatouille. It's a great movie. So, yeah.
Yes.
All
right. My number 5 is a movie from last year or the year before, depending on foreign crazy release date type of things, but it was on my top 10 of 2010 because that's when it came out in the US, and that is I Am Love, which is a film starring Tilda Swinton as a Russian woman who has been married into a prominent Italian family, and sort of she's been playing this role for quite a long time, and then all of a sudden she sort of falls for her son's business partner. They're opening a restaurant together, and he is a chef, and sort of starts questioning all the decisions that she's made in her life, and the food that he makes is an integral part of the story. And there's this one amazing scene where she tastes food that he made for the first time, and it's like her whole world goes crazy. Like literally the lighting in the scene is just all on her, like as if the heavens have opened as she tastes his food and realizes that there is a whole other life out there for her. It's very beautifully shot. Film.
I actually just saw this a couple days ago, and it's a very, very strong performance by Tilda Swinton. The food, it's interesting. There's a little bit of a twist about how her kind of affair is revealed using food. I guess I wish we could talk about it a little bit more because I have a lot to say about the film, but yeah, it's very, very good movie. Very good movie. My number 4 film is, I don't know if it's really known. It's kind of a smaller film. It's from 2000 and it's called Dinner Rush.
Never heard of it.
It's, where do I begin with this film? It's one of those slice of life kind of movies. It all takes place in this Italian restaurant, and it stars Danny Aiello as the owner of the restaurant. His son, Eduardo Ballerini, is one of the main chefs. It's pretty much this sort of thing where it's kind of like an Altman film, where you have like all these like separate stories going on all at the same time. You have, the kitchen with all of the cooks and everything and all their business, and then you have all the customers that come in, and then the waiters and everything. Each story is so kind of interesting.
Is it like all in one night, or is
it all happens in one night? Yeah. Who else is in it? John Corbett is in it. Sandra Bernhard is in it as a critic, food critic. I mean, and
right.
Mark Margolis is in it as well.
Okay.
Very, very interesting.
It's a really random cast, but
it is
I'm
a random
by how all those
cast.
elements work together.
But yeah, it certainly, the way they all like kind of connect during this one night is great, and of course the cooking scenes are fantastic. I was mad hungry after I saw that movie. So yeah,
Mad hungry.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'll check it out.
Yep.
All right. My number 4 is a film that is flat out one of my favorite films of all time. I've seen it so many times, and that is Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, which is a little bit non-traditional on the food movie scale, but you know, that's their whole goal the whole time, is to get to this meal. And then I just love the over-the-top way that scene is shot at the end when they finally get their food.
It's like, oh my god,
disgusting.
we're in heaven. This is incredible.
It's like 40 tiny square burgers and all their drinks and the fries. I mean, honestly, it's hilarious to me the way that they get their reward.
Yeah, it's just kind of amazing that just that whole night they get into all these like crazy adventures. I mean, I don't even know like where to begin with all the crazy stuff that they go through and everything like that, but it's all for getting those burgers at the end.
It's all for this payoff scene.
Yeah, so I mean, the first one is great. Wasn't a big fan of the second one. Hopefully the third one will be just as good as the first one. So let's keep our fingers crossed. My number 3 film doesn't really particularly involve food. Really more about wine. I don't know if you count wine as a food.
Well, okay.
It's from 2004. It was written and directed by Alexander Payne, and it is Sideways.
Love Sideways.
It features Paul Giamatti as this sort of a slub, I guess you can say.
What? Paul
Right?
Giamatti playing a slub?
I know, right? I mean, holy crap. That must have been the first time he's ever done that. He and his friend, Jack, played by Thomas Hayden Church, go out on this wine tasting sort of, I guess, get-together or whatever. Thomas Hayden,
I really like the way that the movie really focuses on the wine. Like,
oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, even to the point of how you go about tasting it, like swirling it in the glass and sniffing it and taking it in. It's really, really great. It's kind of funny how Paul Giamatti's character won't talk to a woman because she doesn't like a certain kind of wine or she drinks a certain kind of wine or something like that. It's really, really funny. Great performances in it. Virginia Madsen, Sandra Oh in it also.
they're both great.
So, yeah. Sideways.
An excellent film.
Yes, it is.
All right, my number 3 is from 2007. It's from writer and director Adrian Shelley, and it is Waitress, starring Kerry Russell and Nathan Fillion. And Adrian Shelley herself is in it. Of course, she was tragically murdered before the movie ever came out, which honestly is like so sad.
Yeah.
But I really love this film, and the pies that she makes, she works at like a diner where she makes all these pies, Kerry Russell does, are a huge part of her character development. It's like catharsis for her making these pies, which look amazing. And throughout the film, she has, every time she has a problem, she makes a different kind of pie that sort of relates to that problem. And
so it's like, I had a hard day, I'm going to make a pumpkin pie.
Yeah, but it's more like I can't remember some of the specific examples, but it's like she's going to make, so-and-so was really an asshole today pie or whatever. And then they go through the recipe and they show her making it and everything. And it's super cute. And I think this is a very, very good movie. It was one of my favorites of 2007.
Okay, cool. Excellent. I'll definitely check it out. My number 2 film is from 1971. It's based off of a book written by Roald Dahl. And it is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
This is pretty close to making my list.
I mean,
I figured you would have it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm easy on that. It's just interesting how they just create this world, this factory with such an eccentric character with Willy Wonka. Gene Wilder, I think this is probably one of his iconic roles.
Yeah,
absolutely, right? It's kind of interesting, this film, how it's supposed to be like for children, but it's actually pretty unnerving. It's actually kind of scary, especially that scene where they're like on the boat and the colors and the sounds and the way Gene Wilder's acting and everything like that. And I mean, pretty much the movie's message is, if you're a bad kid, something terrible is going to happen to you. So yeah, I mean, but again, the food, the candy, the chocolate in it, it just looks so good.
Yeah, and they do set up the contrast with all of the disgusting like cabbage soup or whatever that Charlie's family
exactly.
And then that scene, the first scene when they just burst into the factory and they're just
all this
gorging themselves and
yeah.
Willy Wonka's singing that great song. It's amazing.
Great movie.
My number 2 is from 1996. It is directed by Stanley Tucci and Campbell Scott, who are also both in it. And Stanley Tucci wrote it with someone else whose name I'm spacing on.
It's actually written by Joseph Tropiano.
Oh, is this going to be your number 1?
Yes.
It is Big Night, which I think... Oh, it's just such a charming film.
It is. It
filled
really
with
is.
Hilarious moments.
It's just
honestly, it's so good.
Yeah, it's really interesting how they're two brothers that are that immigrated from Italy.
Tony Shalhoub plays like the chef brother, and he has a restaurant with Stanley Tucci, who sort of like manages it. It's not going so well, partially because Tony Shalhoub just can't make any compromises in the food that he makes
has to
make
do it his way. Yeah.
And it's set in what, like 1958 or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a lot of people are like, "What? You want me to have seafood risotto? Where's my spaghetti with red sauce?" You know?
Yeah. Meatballs? What? No, it already has carbs. It's just it's really funny. I mean, the characters are so colorful. One of my favorite scenes is where Tony Shalhoub, Stanley Tucci, and Ian Holm are next to the bar.
Oh my
and
gosh.
they talk about like raining outside instead of inside.
Yeah,
and they're like,
exactly.
Why do you say outside?
Well, because it can't rain inside.
I don't get it. What's so funny? Blah, blah, blah. Why are you making fun of me?
It's a joke.
Yeah, it's
I don't
great.
get it.
It's
exactly. So funny.
Yeah, it's really funny.
And then the whole like...
They just
last part of the second act of the film is just this big dinner that they have.
This big feast that just keeps on going.
And the film itself makes a big deal out of it because all of a sudden there's title cards for every course.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's like some of them are like slow motion symphony while they're like eating.
Yeah,
and
it's just funny how like all the characters in there are, like you can look at them, they're so full like after eating like their first course, but the more the food comes in, you're like, oh my god, that just looks so good.
Everyone's sitting around and you think it's all over, and then this suckling pig comes rolling.
Yeah, this pig comes in. They're like, oh god, really?
It's a very, very good movie.
It's a lot of fun.
Super solid indie film. Like it's just you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. Big Night. All right. Well, my number 1 is also a repeat, and it is Ratatouille, which is flat out one of my favorite movies of all time. I remember when the trailer first came out, I remember they had like a 9-minute teaser trailer, and I watched that thing so many freaking times. I was so excited for this movie, and then it actually lived up to my expectations. And it's just
so clever the way that Remy like can control Linguini by pulling his hair and everything like that, and that whole scene where he's teaching him how to cook spaghetti and everything. It's just
I love it. Like I love the way the plot works, and it's not afraid to be sort of absurd and have this sort of like almost like a magical realism element, because like who could possibly be like a puppet
exactly
like that, and it works, so it just works like everything, like so much that Pixar does. You don't even really know why it works so well, but there's nothing to criticize.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great movie. So yeah, I think we are all stuffed on this one, right? So that does it.
I'm not gonna get behind
joke
that
on that one. Yeah. That does it for our top 5 films featuring food. If you have any that you'd like to share, please let us know on MacGuffinPodcast.com, and we will catch you guys next time.